So unfortunately, we did have some issues with the audio during the live stream, so um, it was kind of hard to do a voiceover on the live stream because it was live and then I was getting a lot of questions and there's a lot of pauses and waiting for people, etc. And I don't really remember what I was saying because I didn't have a script or anything, so it was kind of hard to do a voiceover. But basically, I wanted to make a good video here for the people who couldn't make it. In this video, I'm basically gonna just go over the indicators that I use here. Some very useful indicators. Um, I think it's very important to understand charts and be able to use technical analysis to help you find the best and most profitable trades whenever you see like some flow alerts, whatever. You can go take a look at the chart, use some technical analysis, and kind of figure out if this is a trade for you. So that's what I kind of want to touch up on this video. I don't really want to overcomplicate anything. I'm going to keep it really simple, really easy to understand. If you guys want me to go more in depth, feel free to type in market talk or ask questions, whatever. But just for this video, I just want to kind of show you guys like how these indicators work and how to kind of take action with these indicators and how they've been working for me so far. So that's what we're going to kind of touch up on this video. So the first indicator that we will be going over is the BT Cloud indicator. You go up here in this tab, search up BT Cloud, and then it's the first one by the man himself. It's C-Blast. Let me just fix this real fast. Alright, besides the BT Cloud obviously looking really cool on the chart, it's one of my favorite indicators. The BT Cloud kind of tells you, like, it kind of shows you what's the current market trend, right? If we're in an uptrend or if we're in a bearish downtrend, when the trend breaks, when the trend has flipped. It tells you a lot, right? Now, one of the most important things, a little tip about this indicator is, hold on, you want to go to, you want to click on the BT Cloud, or you can also go to the top left, you'll see BT Cloud here, and you want to go to settings. Now, we're going to change two settings here in the BT short category. We're going to go to color 0, and we're going to put it green, put the opacity all the way up. Boom. Now, we're going to go to color 1, make it red, and put the opacity all the way up. Boom. Now, why have we done this? You'll see right here shortly. So if you look at the BT Cloud indicator, actually I don't think it's saved. Actually, sorry, hold on. It did save. Maybe I have to make it yeah, I'm gonna make it a brighter. I'll make it a brighter color actually here, so you can see it better. So what the BT short indicator kind of helps you, like the little line, what it helps you with is kind of think of it as like a leading indicator to the trend flip. So before the trend kind of flips, you can kind of see the line flip green, right? So we go from a red line here, we're in a bearish trend and we're in a downtrend, and you'll kind of see the line flip here, right? So once you see that line flip and then you kind of see a big volume candle like this, like a bullish engulfing candle, and then you see support starting to build, that can kind of be your leading indicator to jump into some calls here before the BT Cloud fully flips. So it's a very, very useful tip. I use it all the time. It helps me get in early on my positions. I like using the BT Cloud the most, really, on the 30-minute time frame. It really helps me find solid BT Cloud flips. So my favorite time frame to use the BT cloud is on the 30-minute time frame, because you can really see these trends stay for a long time. Unlike in the lower time frames, they stay only for a little bit and you might get faked out, etc., etc. So that's kind of how you want to use the BT cloud. The BT cloud is for trend flips. Kind of helps you see the trend. It's a trend indicator. You can trade it in multiple different ways. Besides the trend flips, you can also trade with the trend. So how you would do that is, when the trend has flipped, right, you want to kind of get in early. Say you missed an entry here, you can kind of find when price pulls back and then bounces off the BT short line. This is called the BT short line, this green line right here, this bright green line. You can kind of see where price is just bouncing off of it. So you can wait for a pullback into this BT short line and take some calls to ride the trend upward. Now, something I want to emphasize here is when I trade, I don't blindly just trade off of indicators. I like to pair it with the tools in Trade Echo, right? All the tools that are available here. We made a video on that. I like to pair that with those tools there. I don't just blindly get into any trade with just the BT Cloud indicator or just any indicator in general. So that's how you can trade with the trend using the BT Cloud. And of course, trading trend flips is kind of self-explanatory. When we're in a downtrend here, let's find a better part of the chart. We're on a, that's not really a downtrend. Here's a perfect part. When we are coming off a downtrend, you kind of wait for the BT Cloud to flip green, and then that means the trend is changing. So you kind of get in off a bounce of support and ride that wave upwards. So that's how you would trade trend flips, right? On the flips, on the cloud flips. Pretty simple there. And then say you want to ride the trend downwards, you can use a BT short line as an entry, as like a type of resistance when we are going on a downtrend. As you can see, you can wait for a pull. You can wait for price action to pull back up into the BT short line, take entry, and you can short it down and ride the wave down as well. So that's kind of how I use a BT Cloud. I think it's one of the most important indicators, a really great indicator to kind of help you see market sentiment and how the overall market trend is looking. You kind of want to be very patient. I would usually only trade cloud flips, or if you're riding the trends, using the BT short as like a resistance line for entry on puts or a support line for some calls. But it's important to pair that with other tools that are provided in Trade Echo. All right, so the next indicator I want to focus on is going to be the VWAP indicator. Many of you guys may know this tool. It's a very popular tool for a reason. It's a very good tool. How I use it and how I see it is, sorry, I didn't even show you guys what VWAP I use, but I use the VWAP auto anchored. It's going to be this one right here, VWAP auto anchored. You can find it in the indicators tab. It's going to be this one right here. So once we click that one, I guess it's not letting me use it on Bitcoin for whatever reason, and we can just go on SPX. Alright, let me change the color on it. Settings, reset to default. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, if you can kind of see the VWAP indicator, it's these three lines here is the auto anchored, but I want to make a slight adjustment to this VWAP here. We're going to click on the VWAP right here. We're going to go to settings, and then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the upper band and the lower band. And you don't really need these upper band and lower band one. You don't really need them. Never seen a use case for them really. Hold on, I think we have to get rid of all of it really. Let's go back to settings. We're going to get rid of all of them but VWAP. We're going to get rid of everything but VWAP. All we want to be here is VWAP. It's the only thing. VWAP is the only thing you want. So once you've done that, I'm going to explain how VWAP is used. So how you can think of VWAP, let's go to a smaller time frame, maybe fine. All right, perfect. So how you can think of VWAP is, think of it as a support and resistance level, right? Support and resistance level. Very easy to explain it here. When we are below VWAP, current market structure is short-term bearish. Now, below VWAP, VWAP acts as resistance. As you can see here, we tap VWAP, rejected. We tap VWAP, we rejected. But above VWAP, this level is now a level of support. Let's show a good one. I think Rivian was doing great today. So it was a little, let's go to Disney maybe. No, not good either. Let's just do Rivian. So as you can see here, above VWAP, it's kind of, VWAP is very useful. The charts were kind of all over the place today. Let's see if we can find a better chart here. Yeah, okay, Palantir is a perfect one. Perfect one right here. So as you can see, below VWAP, VWAP was kind of a level of resistance, right? And we were below VWAP, so the trend was bearish. The market structure was bearish. Now, when we broke above VWAP and we were above VWAP, VWAP was now a level of support. As you can see here, we tapped VWAP and it went higher. Usually, when we are above VWAP, market structure is short-term bullish, right? And then you can look at this level as a point of support above VWAP. So how would you use this, right? So say I was looking for a short, right? If I was trying to short the market, I would wait for a rejection of VWAP to enter on some shorts. But also, VWAP can also be used as an important level to take profits. Say I was in calls here, and I wanted to take a safe exit, right? I would exit at VWAP just in case price rejected. So what VWAP really helps you with is when you don't know your levels too well, when you don't know supply and demand too well, it's kind of a shortcut and kind of helps you find a key level here where price can potentially reject or bounce off of, depending on which side of the market you're playing. So that's how VWAP is kind of used. That's how I use VWAP. Now, when you pair VWAP with all these indicators and you pair it with the tools in Trade Echo, etc., it's a really great tool. It's always something I keep in my charts, always something I keep an eye on, right? So what I said in the beginning is very important. When we are below VWAP, market structure is short-term bearish. When we are above VWAP, market structure is short-term bullish. Let's see if we can find one more chart here. Oh, I put that wrong, sorry. Okay. Well, you can kind of see here, below VWAP, it kept rejecting off VWAP here, as you can see. Just kept rejecting off VWAP. And then we finally broke out of VWAP, and we were short-term bullish, but then you saw we broke back down, short-term bearish. It's just, you can kind of see it's a very important level where price seems to reject and bounce off of. It's an important level to keep an eye on, especially when you're in a trade. You could potentially trim some contracts getting near that level just in case, for whatever reason, we bounce or reject. A big reason why this tends to happen is kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. Well, besides going into detail of how VWAP works and all these things, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy because a lot of people use the VWAP indicator, right? So if everyone is selling at VWAP, then guess what's going to happen? We're going to reject. If everyone's buying at VWAP, guess what's going to happen? We're going to bounce. So you kind of want to be ahead of the crowd and maybe trim some contracts or whatever before we head into that level. The next indicator that I want to go over is going, this is a very helpful one, right? So when you pair all these three indicators together, you could potentially just trade with that alone and be pretty profitable. But the last indicator that I want to show here is going to be the Satoshi Stochastic RSI. It's going to be this one here. I hope I'm saying that right, but this is Satoshi Stochastic RSI. Now we're going to go back to the indexes. I think the RSI is very helpful for single tickers and more larger time frames like the hourly, daily, etc. In lower time frames, it's not too helpful just because of all the volatility. But in the larger time frames, it's a lot more meaningful for single tickers. Now in the indexes, it's really good on the 30-minute, right? In the hourly, it's golden. Those are the time frames where RSI matters the most. Now, what we're going to do for the RSI here is once you have it on your chart, you're going to click on it, of course, and then you're going to click on settings. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go to this level here, the 95 level, and we're just going to make it red. Okay, 95 level, we're just going to make it red. Now we're going to go down to the 5 level and then make this one green. Now, the 95 level will be red, the 5 level will be green. That's it. That's all we have to do there. Now the RSI is very simple, right? Very simple tool. How I use the RSI is when we are approaching in this area here into this gray zone here, you could potentially start looking for shorts, right? You can start looking when you see us heading into this zone here, you could potentially start looking for some shorts if you have a short bias, right? If you're trying to short the market, say. So I'll give you a perfect example. Say I've been trying to short the market, right? I am bearish for whatever reason. Now, I see we are in a very overbought territory, right? Up here means we're very overbought. Down here means we're very oversold. So when we are crossing this red line here, when we're tapping this red line, it means we're extremely overbought, right? Extremely overbought. That means you have to be careful. But when we are down here, it means we are extremely oversold, which means we could potentially catch some buyers, right? Where it's basically an exhaustion indicator, right? Buyers are potentially getting exhausted here, so there can be a pullback. Sellers are getting exhausted here, which can have bulls step in. So think of it as an exhaustion indicator, right? So say if I've been looking for an opportunity to short the market, I see that the RSI is way overbought. Now I'm seeing that the BT cloud, the BT short line has flipped red. We are in extremely overly bought territory, right? Now I can look for potential entry on some puts, and you can see it pays. Now say I'm like, okay, we have sold off an extreme amount. I'm looking for a potential opportunity to take some calls. You can see we are in the gray zone, in this zone here, and we are tapping this extremely oversold level. I could potentially look for a call entry, and you can see the BT cloud, the BT short line flips green. Look for entry, bang, make some money there. So it's a great indicator when you pair it with the BT cloud. But what I will say is, just like with anything, you can't just rely on one indicator, and you have to pair it with multiple other indicators, flows, and especially data. You want to be making sure you're looking at data and making sure the flow, the dealer flow, the Greeks, order flow, all the types of flow, aligns with your thesis, right? Or like the catalyst, etc., etc. You just don't want to go in blindly. The RSI kind of shows you exhaustion, but as you can see here, when we are in a strong uptrend, the RSI kind of doesn't matter that much anymore. So that's what I would say about the RSI. When we are in extreme trends, you have to be careful with the RSI. You have to be careful and really time your entry, because the RSI can be wrong when we are in it's not wrong, but it's just we are in a very strong trend. So of course we're going to stay at these extremely overbought levels, right? Because that's what I'll say about the RSI. You have to be careful with the RSI when we are inside heavy trends, which the BT Cloud can kind of help you with. As you can see here, we're in a bearish trend. We're in a bearish market structure, and you can see we're kind of chopping here, right? So bearish market structure plus chopping plus a little pump here, and then plus us being now overbought. That's a perfect formula for a short position there, because this wasn't really a strong trend. It really wasn't a strong trend. Like once we hit this resistance level, boom, really good short opportunity there. So that's how the RSI is kind of used. When we're inside this level here, we're kind of in I would call it the gray zone. Anything really goes in this level here. Anything really goes. But when we are up in extremely overbought levels or extremely oversold levels, that's when things can get interesting, and you could look for some cloud flips in the RSI or to enter off cloud flips on the BT Cloud. So that's how I would use the RSI. The last indicator that I want to go over with you guys, pretty simple one. It's just going to be the matrix flow chart. You go here, such a matrix flow chart. Just kind of helps you with the flow. It's going to be the V31 by Tio Patinas. Alright, we're going to go here. Hold on, I'm just resetting the settings to defaults. Okay, there we go. Alright. So basically, all it does is kind of highlight the flows and how the flow is looking. That's really all it is. If there's heavy call volume, you'll see it here. As you can see, heavy call volume, and then we exploded. Kind of shows you the volume. Very, very helpful. If you don't have order flow or none of that access available to you, you can kind of use a matrix flow chart to kind of help you see volume in real time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I do want to say before I end this video here, I'm not a financial advisor, just kind of trying to show you guys the indicators I use that have helped me be profitable. So I hope this video helped you guys, and I am sorry for the audio issues on the live stream. It was a great live stream. People asked amazing questions, but that's all the indicators that I use, really. Also, I don't really use I don't use this one too much, really. The flow one is just a good indicator to have if you don't have no access to order flow. Don't have access to any of the Trade Echo tools. It helps out a lot.